Bunkers are like the Fort Knox of survival shelters. These bad boys are designed to withstand pretty much anything nature or zombies can throw at them. It's like trying to break into a bank vault with a toothpick. Good luck, zombies. They're built to be impenetrable, with thick walls that laugh in the face of any undead assailants. But are bunkers the best option to survive a zombie apocalypse? Think about it. While zombies are stumbling around, trying to figure out doorknobs, you're nestled comfortably in your bunker, sipping on canned beans and watching old reruns of sitcoms. Bunkers are like the ultimate security system, complete with a moat, metaphorically speaking, except instead of water, it's a moat of reinforced concrete and steel. And let's not forget about the doors. Bunker doors are like the gatekeepers to your personal fortress. They're heavy, they're fortified, and they're not budging for anyone, especially not a horde of hungry zombies. You might as well try to knock down a mountain with a feather. First off, it's like having a force field around you, except instead of deflecting lasers, it's keeping out the undead. You're basically living in your own little bubble of safety, far away from the chaos and carnage of the outside world. Zombies? Hostile survivors? Please. They're like distant memories when you're chilling in your bunker, binge-watching classic movies and pretending the world hasn't gone to hell in a handbasket. And let's remember the peace and quiet. Bunkers are like soundproof chambers of tranquility in a world gone mad. No more listening to the moans of zombies or the screams of the dying. Just the gentle hum of the generator and the occasional clang of a can opener. It's like a spa day for your sanity. But isolation isn't just about peace and quiet. It's also about safety. The fewer people you encounter, the lower your chances of running into trouble. No more dodging bullets or negotiating with fellow survivors. Just you, your bunker, and a whole lot of canned food. Your bunker can be the lifeblood of living in a zombie-filled world, but just if you have supplies. Picture it. You're nestled comfortably in your bunker, surrounded by enough canned goods to make a doomsday prepper jealous. It's like having your own personal grocery store, minus the pesky cashiers and annoying background music. Let's dive into the wonders of bunker supplies. First off, we're talking about enough food to last a lifetime, or at least a few months. Bunkers are like giant pantries on steroids, stocked to the brim with enough canned beans, spam, and instant noodles to feed a small army of survivors. Who needs farm to table when you've got can to mouth? And let's not forget about the water. Bunkers are like oases in the desert, with enough bottled water to keep you hydrated for days. It's like having your own personal water park, except instead of slides and lazy rivers, it's just you and a bunch of plastic bottles. But it's not just about the food and water, it's about the medical supplies too. Bunkers are like mini hospitals, stocked with everything from bandages to antibiotics. Got a scratch? No problem. Just slap on a band-aid and call it a day. Need surgery? Well, you might be out of luck, but at least you've got some ibuprofen to ease the pain. And let's not forget about the toilet paper. Bunkers are like paradise for germaphobes, with enough TP to last a lifetime, or until the zombies break in and steal it all. It's like winning the lottery, except instead of cash, you've won a lifetime supply of 2-ply. But as the saying goes, all good things must come to an end. While the comforts of bunker living may seem like paradise, there are some downsides lurking in the shadows. So let's peel back the layers of safety and convenience and venture into the murky territory of the disadvantages of bunker life in a zombie apocalypse. The cramped quarters of bunker life. It's like trying to fit an elephant into a matchbox. You're squished like sardines in a can, surrounded by your fellow servivores, each vying for their own little slice of personal space. It's like a game of human Tetris. First off, there's the issue of privacy, or lack thereof. When you're living in a space the size of a shoebox, there's nowhere to hide from your fellow survivors. It's like living in a fishbowl, except instead of fish, you're the ones being watched. And then there's the tension. When you're crammed into close quarters with a bunch of strangers, things can get heated pretty quickly. It's like a pressure cooker of emotions, with tempers flaring and patience wearing thin. Who knew that arguing over who gets the last can of beans could be so entertaining? But perhaps the biggest downside of limited space in a bunker is the lack of personal freedom. The cruel twist of fate in the world of bunker living, the dreaded limited resources. It's like being handed the keys to a Ferrari, only to find out it's running on fumes. You're basking in the glow of your fully stocked bunker, reveling in the abundance of canned goods and bottled water. Life is good until it isn't. There's the inevitable moment when you realize that the party won't last forever. Sure, you've got enough canned beans to feed a small army, but eventually those beans are going to run out. And when they do, well, let's just say things are going to get a little dicey. Then there's the issue of water. Bunkers may be stocked with enough bottled water to last a lifetime, or at least a few weeks, but eventually that well is going to run dry. It's like being stranded in the desert with a straw, except instead of sand, it's empty water bottles as far as the eye can see. But perhaps the biggest downside of limited resources in a bunker is the harsh reality of survival. When the canned goods are gone and the water bottles are empty, you're going to have to get creative and fast. It's like being on a deserted island with only a Swiss Army knife and a coconut tree, except instead of coconuts, it's a zombie-infested wasteland. The Achilles heel of bunker living is the vulnerability to breach. There's the sobering reality that no matter how fortified your bunker may be, zombies are nothing if not persistent. It's like trying to keep ants out of a picnic, except instead of ants, it's flesh-eating zombies, and instead of a picnic, it's your bunker. Then there's the issue of escape, or lack thereof. Bunkers are like prison cells with better amenities, complete with one way in and one way out. It's like being stuck in a maze with no exit, except instead of a maze, it's a labyrinth of reinforced concrete and steel. But perhaps the biggest downside of vulnerability to breach in a bunker is the sheer terror of being trapped. When the zombies come knocking and the defenses crumble, you're going to feel like a rat in a cage, with no cheese in sight, nowhere to run, and nowhere to hide. While bunkers offer a semblance of safety and security in the chaotic landscape of a zombie apocalypse, they are not without their drawbacks. So, whether you're considering bunkering down or braving the undead world outside, outside, remember to weigh the pros and cons carefully. If you've enjoyed this humorous exploration of bunker life, be sure to subscribe for more entertaining and informative content. And don't forget to hit that like button if you found this discussion both amusing and insightful.